Hey, welcome. Thank you for being here. Another video. I'm ticking them off, getting back on track, getting back in flow. So I appreciate you all biding your time with me and checking in for these zodiac readings. They're general tarot readings of the energies that I pick up on, but I wanted to do something that I used to do and sort of sub it with the zodiac signs. You can take what resonates from whatever reading that I put out, as long as it resonates with you. And as long as you're not tricking yourself into resonating with things when you're not truly feeling it, only apply things to how they're going to apply to your greatness, to your direction, to your intent, to your healing, whatever that may be. As long as it's to a strength, I'm happy. I really appreciate the engagement. We're going to love bomb the algorithmic gods of YouTube. These baby gods in AI that we've opened the door to. We're allowing the few to program them with the same stereotypes, the same prejudice, the same boundaries for some and not others, as has been this whole period, this whole cycle of hijack, to sow division, to limit some people and limit some messages and not others. So we're going to love bomb it, because like a baby being fed nothing but negativity, that baby's going to lash out. It's all it knows. It's all it's been taught. I'm going to try and teach it something different. So I really appreciate you coming on board with me and love bombing this thing. And that can mean your honest feeling, thumbs up or thumbs down. Apparently that helps. And a comment really helps, as well as a share and subscribe. That would be great. Thank you to the new subscribers and all of the old. All love to you all. So this is for Virgo. And what's going on, Virgo? Wow. Because I've been, you can see this. I've had to do these readings over a few days, jumping on when I can, and obviously going and being a mum when I need to be. And these cards, I usually carry the cards around with me anyway. I'm always shuffling. It's part of my meditation. It's part of a habit for me. I like the energy. I like putting my energy into them. And so when I'm using a deck in particular that I want to use to keep a consistent symbolic message coming through the readings, sometimes I'll change my mind on that, but this time I wanted to do that. These same cards are coming up in different contexts, but these same cards are coming up throughout the readings. So it's a predominant energy of these major arcanas that are coming through, with a slight twist that the minor arcanas apply to the different zodiac signs. So for you, Virgo, you decided you were going to have 4 cards pulled out, and you made sure that those 4 cards came out. So we will go with the energies. So we're going to go through this, but I'm just going to tell you, all 4 cards are major arcanas, all 4. The Hierophant was hiding under the Hermit for a while until I found it, which is why it has stayed in. So yeah, they're all 4 major arcanas. I'm just taking in the energy of it and thinking, what are you up to? Like, what kind of resource are you hooking into? Because it's powerful. Can't say anything different with 4 major arcanas. 4 for 4. So the underpinning energy, the 5th card, the bottom of the deck that sort of runs through the whole reading, is the 4 of Swords. 4. And it speaks to meditation. It speaks to being quite regimental at the moment for you, for taking that time out to channel your own energy, be in your own space, envelop yourself in your own dark void, to really process a lot. And in this meditation, it feels like you're going through deep inner healing of really deep wounds or tragedies, traumas, that really taking this time, like Leo, out to go to invert, rather than be that extrovert. You're inverting, taking in the frequencies, and a lot of your processing is when your body is being completely still at the moment. when you literally are enveloped into that void within self, where you almost feel like you're floating in the vast space, the vast cosmos, because you're in that within, you're in those chambers within. It feels like you've done a lot of unlocking with this four. Now, four is the number of foundation, the four pillars. Building a house, you want four corners to stabilize it one way or the other. So this is real, where Virgo has been sometimes a little bit sort of out there with the energies, not really channeling them very consistently, and having extremes. It feels like you've brought that in through the learning experiences that you've had, through the responsibilities that you've brought into your life and stepped up to. You've brought that in. And it's a very powerful thing that I feel a lot of Virgos will resonate with, the fact that they finally don't necessarily need an outside leader outside of themselves to what's the word, inspire them into doing a certain ritual or a certain healing process, or a certain inner work, or a certain action. Stepping into more sovereignty in the truer sense, rather than the trope that's been blasted out by people a lot over the last few years in particular. So I've got a graze at the moment. I should graze all the time anyway. We'll go into that on other videos, but I'm having to take things a bit seriously health-wise. So excuse me if I'm eating raisins. Let's go. The first card, the Hierophant. Ta-da! It just wants to be out. It's just the energy that is around, that is surrounding. I've made a bit of an effort with the nails. We'll see how long they last when I go out foraging. But it's the number 5, Major Arcana. You can see him here sitting on a throne. He's draped in red, the living word. The hijack of that would be like the red letters kind of thing of the Bible. But it is talking about the esoteric, mesoteric, and exoteric knowledge, the 3 layers of knowledge that this Hierophant, this master, this sage is able to transfer to participants who are ready to receive it, like these men here kneeling down, braced. They've got braces on, bracing themselves for the wisdom, the knowledge, and the wisdom of how to then go and apply it. It has 2 very solid pillars in the back of knowledge and wisdom. 5 would be that midpoint, that change point, that stirring point of, you can either make a decision in the midweek to repeat what you've done on the Monday and Tuesday, or to go forward into the Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with a different focus. It's that midpoint, it's that hump day, it's that change. With this, you would then be going and applying that change to the other numbers that come up, the other energies that come up, the other actions that need to be done. So in the Hierophant, this would speak to structure. It would speak to gaining a self-confidence about the knowledge that you hold and the wisdom that you've learned to apply to that knowledge. And that comes from the work, the deep inner works of the 4 of Swords that you got there for the underpinning energies. It also speaks to then the Hermit comes out looking directly at the Hierophant again, holding that lantern up, another major arcana. This is number 9. And of course, we spoke about this in the previous reading, and maybe the reading before that, of the 9 applied to the 5. It comes back to 5 with numerology when you work your way through that equation. And so these mirroring energies are bouncing off each other, they're feeding each other, and you are successfully then processing what comes up in that reflection, in that perception that changes, or applying what you find with the Hierophant, and what you explore with this, take the time to explore with this 4 of Swords, and then measuring it against the wisdom and knowledge that you already know, or seeking out wisdom and knowledge that may help you apply this and this more effectively. And so you are really effectively uh, bouncing off yourself, self-reflecting quite literally, but having a confidence about that, having a confidence in doing that, which is a beautiful thing. It feels like a lot of Virgos in the last year have their lives have changed drastically. There's been new responsibilities or opportunities that have come in that have actually sort of prompted you to actually do this work that you've been putting off, this inner work for a long time. There is a lot of letting go here of the, like I said before, the need for a religious leader or a leader of any sort to have confidence in the rituals that you do or how they apply to you. And becoming much less conditioned and rigid with that, and starting to apply that living word to your living being, which that's the whole point of the living word. It's not fixed, it's not bookended with leather, it's not limited. The same alchemical principles which the Hierophant speaks about, which is like nature's rules, what works in nature can be applied to different forms of life, and you have the knowledge to know that that's going to affect those different forms of life differently. That something that is really great in compounds and minerals in an equation to one living thing could be completely toxic in the same measure to another living thing with a slightly different biological makeup or need. You're doing that here, and you're shedding yourself of a lot of the need to attach that to a organized religious structure or a leader of any kind of sect or cult. There's a lot of letting go of that, and because of that, you're gaining in this self-confidence to that you don't need to have it recognized because of something outside of you. Your ritual and structure that works, your manifestation that works, is because you've explored what works for you from a vast amount of experiences and materials, and you're starting to get the real knowing, the wisdom to apply to that knowledge. That people may claim the knowledge, but you can't claim the living word because it's different with every different use and in uptake and intent. So you're being called. Again, the same card that's come through on a lot of the other readings, the Judgment card, Major Arcana. Again, this would speak of you with all of this going on, becoming much more knowing of self. With all of this going on, the Judgment card is calling you too, as it is calling many, and this frequency, this trumpet sound, this energy reverberating around you, calling you to rise up, and you're rising up with this raw, authentic self, having left a lot of the excess and bullshit in this watery tomb to be taken away. This has been like a gestation chamber, and you've been, going within with that Four of Swords through your thoughts, through your consciousness, through your subconscious, applying the powers of these two cards, and then hearing the call that's always been there for you, but hearing it because suddenly you have receptors in your body that can resonate with it and vibrate with it. And so you're lifting up, you look into that frequency, having applied it all here, you can feel it now, you can sense it now. And this would speak of also letting go in a lot of this inner work that's obviously been done of the self-judgment and of the judgment of others, and the conditioning to do that, to be triggered into a judgmental space. Some of you really letting go of very toxic vibes that where you've held something in so much, or you've held energies against another. And that's it's such a powerful thing to do, because that takes a lot of strength. Once that type of energy has been a part of you for any length of time, it's terrifying to let go of it. it's terrifying because that little voice will be speaking during the meditation about the fact of, well, if you don't hold your offensive position, you're going to be in defense really quick because you're judging the world and others in the environment around you on the perception that you've had. So to challenge that perception in self is it's another warrior stand in gaining the knowledge, but also the wisdom to apply it to your here and now and to your future and to your past retrospectively to heal inner wounds. Real powerful energy. The next card's been out again before. I don't know how many times this one, I can't remember, but it's the Temperance card. So these are 4 major arcanas. Which order did they go in? This one, and this one. So we're reading from, the way I'm looking at them, we're reading from this side, going this way in this direction. So you've got these 4 major arcanas, and let's speak about Temperance. You can see that there's a balance here with these scale-like wings at either side. There's a transmutation. So this energy is creating a circuit board. You've got the rays of the sun coming into the water. You've got one toe in the water, transmuting that energy up. You've also got the 2 chalices that are being exchanged continuously right across the solar plexus and heart chakra. So like these 2 cards bouncing off each other and mirroring each other. This card is also, and then you have this grounding at the circuit board of energy with this foot being on the soil. So you see this one in the water, this one in the soil, the exchange of these 2 fluids, which are frequencies that stir the emotions. And you're finding a temperate space, a temperance, a peace. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're always finding that peace, because if there's a need to transmute, it usually can be because you're in challenging, whether they be good challenges or more negative feeling challenges, to be applying this, to be able to ground and transmute no matter what, to not fall into hateful spaces because other people are hateful towards you, or that's what you're being surrounded by right now. It's a skill set that's really been so effective for you going into this month and into January. And I can't say much more than that. Than a lot of the messaging in these cards that have been in the generic messages of these cards, the staples of these cards, or in the other readings. But again, there's not much more to say other than go you, Virgo, because this is the revolution from within. Yeah, it is the likes of you that are letting go of generational conditioning of yourself and by others, generational pain, and recognizing that in the letting go of it does not mean we don't apply wisdom and knowledge to shed light where light is necessary to be shed. So that fear is gone, that you can still be this revolutionary spirit, but do it from the within to the without, and fall into less traps, with good intent for the most part, that I feel. But that letting go of the fear of self-judgment, reflection, and being able to really go hard in the paint on these energies in a way that is creating true change in your life. And that, of course, is going to infuse into the auric field around you and to everybody that you meet. This is the type of quiet revolution, like the fungi under the surface, spreading rapidly to vast spaces. This is what I see I'm really glad I pushed myself health-wise, time-wise, to do these zodiac signs, because it really has given me clarity to the energies that I was picking up on. And the fact that it's given me such clarity to say they're really here, these energies, these forms of power, of sources of power are around us, they're within us, and they're ready to be hooked into. The way that so far these readings have been hooking into those very strong energies is inspiring. It's because what I'm feeling about this quiet revolution is great. it's happening. It's across the board thus far. And it shows a lot of us are able to still affect change towards where change is needed without falling into the triggered traps that they set us, which is a really difficult task because they make those trigger traps, those trigger chambers, very, you have to be very strong to say, you know, I'm not this, I'm not that. Just because I speak about this or speak to this does not mean you could then label me and box me in every other category of my life. Or just because I shed light on this, it doesn't mean I'm in a negative space. It means I'm in a powerful space because I can shed light and completely not absorb what the opposing side would say to me to belittle me or slander me. Or that's where you're at, Virgo. And that is a powerful place to be. So on behalf of everybody, once again, thank you. Thank you for the inner work that you do and the fact that that will diffuse into the environment around you and create even more change. For those of you with little ones, showing this example is a beautiful and powerful way to really create change going into the future, and really set to not repeat past cycles. So yeah, well done you. Much love, balance and wholeness. I appreciate you all. Like, share, subscribe, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. Put a comment. I appreciate it very, very much. My contact details are in the description box below. If you want to book in for a personal spiritual coaching session or tarot reading, I can be available for that. If you want to use the new email to get in touch with me, that would be greatly appreciated too. If any of you want a gift certificate sent out for those sessions, for those services, then I can do that and make it look really cool and send it directly to the person for any seasonal gifting that you want to do for a loved one or for yourself. So much love, balance and wholeness once again. Mwah.